In this video, I will explain the 4 most common mistakes that are made in the IELTS speaking exam, and I will also explain how to avoid making these mistakes. Now, these 4 mistakes are: number 1, not paraphrasing the question. Number 2, giving good ideas but not developing them. Number 3, not having a technique for the speaking part 2. And number 4, trying to give good answers. Now, the first and most common mistake that is made is not paraphrasing the question. Now, when I work with new students, they always tell me, for example, my speaking part 1 is really good. I just need to improve my speaking part 2. But when I ask them a very simple question, such as, in your free time, what do you like to do? They always give me an answer like, in my free time, I like to play the guitar. No, that is not what we want to do. What we want to do is to change some of the words from the question that they asked us. This is a test, and I'll explain why it's a test in just a second. But a good answer would be, in my spare time, I enjoy playing guitar. We want to change some of the words that they give us. Now, why is paraphrasing so important? Well, the IELTS published a public version of their speaking test rubric. Now, the speaking test rubric is their explanation of how they grade your speaking test. In this IELTS rubric, they mention 6 times the word paraphrase. Paraphrasing is absolutely important. It's a big test. Now, because this is so important and it's so much of an issue, I made a PDF and I also have a whole other video on paraphrasing. But right below this video, to make it easy for you, there's a PDF about paraphrasing. There's a bunch of practice for you, there's a bunch of examples, and there's also some instructions as well. I would really recommend doing that practice. Mistake number 2 is giving good ideas, but not developing those ideas. Now, this is something that's also written in the IELTS rubric several times, and it's called topic development. Now, what is topic development? Well, topic development is the process of selecting, narrowing, and expanding on an idea. Now, to understand this more, let's just see an example. So, this question here, what is your country famous for? So, a bad answer to this would be, well, in my country we have lots of food. You know, we have so much food, and yeah, it's really great here. Our food culture is so diverse. Now, this is a bad answer because right from the beginning, we never actually selected something specific to talk about. We said food, but what specifically about food? Can we give some examples? Can you explain what you're saying? So a good answer would be, well, I'm from the US, and I would say we are really well known for our fast food chains. I think it's because we have so many international fast food restaurants, especially McDonald's. For example, I've traveled to so many countries, and every place I've ever visited had a McDonald's there. Now, this is a really good answer because I chose one specific thing, food, but not just food. I said fast food. Then I explained why I think that. I said it's because there's a McDonald's everywhere all over the world. And then I also said an example, which is whenever I travel all over the world, I've always found a McDonald's there. This is topic development. Now, because this is such a big issue, I have all of my students practice the REE system. All of my students know very well what the REE system means. So it means R we want to respond to the question. We want to give our direct answer to their question. Next, we want to elaborate. We want to give some extra details and we want to explain. I really like to just give some reasoning for why I'm saying what I'm saying, such as, I think this because. Next, we want to exemplify. We want to give some examples of what we're saying. Now, I don't want to over-explain. I've made a whole other video on this, and there's also a PDF below to practice. But if we look at the answer that I just gave, okay, it follows that structure perfectly. I responded. I said my specific answer. Well, I'm from the US, and I would say we're really well known for our fast food chains. Then I explained. I said, I think it's because we have so many international fast food restaurants, especially McDonald's. Then I gave my example. I said, for example, I've traveled to so many countries, and every place I have ever visited had a McDonald's there. Now, this sounds so native and it sounds so fluent. So that's why I love the REE system. Right below this video, there's a PDF waiting for you. It's got a lot of practice and a lot of examples and explanations. I would really recommend giving that a lot of practice. Mistake number 3, not having a technique for speaking part 2. Now, when I meet with new students, they always tell me that the hardest part of the speaking exam is speaking part 2. And then when I ask them, like, what's your technique? What's your system for answering the speaking part 2? They say nothing. They don't have a technique, they don't have any system, and that's why the speaking part 2 is really hard for most people. So, what is a technique that we could use? Well, the timeline method is a fantastic technique. So, to explain what the timeline method is, basically we want to select an answer and then we want to divide our answer into the past, the present, and the future. And with different types of questions, it might only be before and after. But let's take a look at what this would look like. So, let's say that this is our question. Describe a positive change in your life. The first thing I have to say is that that's the only thing that you should focus on. The first line. The bullet points underneath, you should say 1, 2, 3, 4. Forget those. It's written in the IELTS website. You do not have to discuss those. Only focus on the first line. So, a positive change in my life. I'm going to choose an answer. My answer will be when I decided to start sleeping earlier. Now, I will divide my answer into the past, the present, and the future. So, in the past, I went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. I woke up around noon. I never had time in the morning to go to the gym or eat a healthy breakfast. My energy was so low all day. And also, when I'm going through these ideas, I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna give some details, discuss some memories. Whenever I woke up in the afternoon, I felt really disappointed, and I was also really upset that I never had time to eat a healthy breakfast. I always wanted to be a healthy person. You don't want to just go through your ideas. Give some extra details. Then, in the present, this is the really awesome thing, is in the present, I'm just going to reuse the same ideas. So in the present, I go to sleep at 9:30 at night now. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning now. These days, I have so much time to cook myself a healthy breakfast and go to the gym before I study or before I start working. Blah, blah, blah. Then, in the future, I want to continue this habit. I want to continue this change because I think it would be really good for my career. I think if I'm going to bed early, it would be good for my time management skills. Blah, blah, blah. Now, one thing I want to say, the future for me, And for most people, most of my students, we keep it a bit short. It's just something to kill a little bit of time at the end. The main part of the answer is going to be in the past and the present, or the before and the after. And then you can give a couple ideas about the future as well. Now, because this is also such of a common issue, I made a practice PDF for you, and it's right below this video. Now, making timelines for the speaking part 2 has lots of benefits. Benefit number 1 is that you have a really big structure. Not just sentence structures, but you have a structure for your whole 2 minutes. You've got in the past, in the present, and in the future. The IELTS examiners will notice this, and it will look really good for you. Now, another benefit is that it allows you to compare. So one thing that they really want to see you doing is comparing ideas. So when you have the past and the present, or the before and the after, the whole idea there is that you can compare two things. Another big benefit is that you will use all the different tenses. You will be using past tense, present tense, and the future tense. So there's really a lot of benefits to using the timelines, and all of my students who use timelines say that they love them and it makes it so much easier for them. Mistake number 4 is trying to give good answers to all of the questions that the examiners ask you. Now, this mostly relates to speaking part 3. Speaking part 3 is a 5-minute discussion on a similar topic as speaking part 2. However, the main goal is that they want to see how you're able to discuss unfamiliar topics. It says this very clearly several times as well in the IELTS speaking rubric. They're looking to see how you handle that. So, the worst thing that you can do is if they ask you a really difficult question, such as this here. This is a difficult one. What are the differences between big companies and small companies? The worst thing that you can do is try to panic, think of some really smart ideas really fast, even though you don't know anything about business. And then your pronunciation is going to start going up and down. You're going to get very shaky. You're going to pause because you don't know what you're talking about. Don't worry if they ask you things that you don't know about. The best thing to do, the structure that I give all my students whenever there's a challenging question that they're uncomfortable with, say basically, I don't know, then say, but I think blah, 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 and then just give a nice conclusion at the end so that everything still sounds organized. Now, it doesn't matter that you don't give an interesting idea. That matters 0%. What matters is that you stay fluent. Your pronunciation is relaxed and it has good sentence stress and rhythm, and you sound natural and comfortable. There's also not so much pausing. So instead of pausing in the beginning, we just say, oh wow, I don't really know about that, and then say why. Alright, so that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I really hope that this information helps you. Now, I would recommend strongly that you use the PDFs that are below this video. I put them there and I created them myself because I really believe that that is what you need to improve your score. Now, if you have any questions, please contact me directly or let me know in the comments of one of these videos, and I will see you in the next video.